for the start of this video that I'm not looking into the camera at all. I'm just reading text that I've written already. Okay, so I'm just apologising to start. This is a response to some perpetual motion gumph from a idiot that doesn't believe. Right, we'll start. First, you talk about energy being useful and go on further to state the only useful energy is kinetic energy. You say that because kinetic energy is the energy humans like to use, or humans have built all our devices to run on. You explain kinetic energy as being the movement of mass. Then you start talking about machines and how we use energy transference, one energy to another. By using transference we produce motion, quote, kinetic energy, and this energy conversion slash transference creates heat, and that because of that heat energy loss you can't have perpetual motion. Then you go on to say, quote, most perpetual motion machines use gravity to extract kinetic energy. Because you demonstrate the downwards force is only equal to the upwards force in your diagram, little rotationally thing, and I assume that you want to include heat loss via friction, the bearings, you then state you have demonstrated perpetual motion machines are impossible. You seem to forget that flywheels are involved, and not just flywheels, normal flywheels. We've also got, what did I look down, idiot. We've also got, on top of rotational flywheels, we've got lateral flywheels, and you completely forget about these kind of things. Then you conveniently change the subject from kinetic mechanical recharge, little thing like this, to kinetic electron flow, electrics, introducing some waffle about Tesla, confusing yourself and everybody else. Then you move on and start talking about some technical stuff where most people are now falling to sleep. This is where normal folk are just switching off because you're a boring git, right? The subject is space-time. Beam me up, Scotty, it's the space-time continuum. You say there's another type of energy that fills the vacuum of space. It's a 4D, four-dimensional quantum gravity made up of electromagnetic radiation quantas, or quanta. Then you state this quanta is in perpetual motion, although you don't use that direct term. At this point I fell off my chair laughing the first time I watched you, laughing at your useless logic. Then you go on and talk about the Heisenberg principle where indetermination is predicted. This states some weird stuff about how atoms and subatomic particles positioned in space cannot reliably be mapped or predicted. You say it in a different way to what I've just said it. Then you move on with another diagram of a horseshoe with a ball in it. This picture clearly shows to me perpetual motion, I'm telling you. You say in your video in a manner of words that nothing can never happen and call it, quote, 0-point field state. You say the gap shown represents a, quote, quantum version of uncertainty principle. Then you show null energy. This is zero and cannot happen. We both agree that nothing can happen. Now, that is the only thing that us two entirely agree on. You call this the uncertainty principle nullified. Your following slide slash picture is confused again. It should be labelled energy state with nullified potential work, as the quanta, the little ball, is in contact with the graduation of energy quantity, the little horseshoe or scale or graph, whichever one you want to call it. It's a scale or graph that he's trying to illustrate on that. At this point I need to highlight that kids use pictures to work things out a lot. That's why we need to get pictures correct. Please address your picture, it's incorrect. Then you go on to state that you think your picture with the horseshoe thingy explains it all, as it explains life and everything, but you don't quite stick your neck on the line saying just maybe. Then you go on to highlight that some people say that they have already tapped into the, my quote, equal uncertainty energy, or as you put it, 0-point energies, I, being one of them, know full well that I have tapped into 0-point energy. Then you go on to say these people must be idiots. I must be an idiot. And if they ask for investment, they are trying to con you and must surely be lying. That's like saying Tesla was an idiot and he didn't know what he was doing. He was lying because he asked for investment, and blah blah more. Remember, Tesla was a pioneer. Not all pioneers know exactly how to explain what they've just found. They just know they found something. Then you go on to state quanta is at the lowest energy state possible, because you drew a picture and read some gumph that somebody else had put down. So you can't get any less than the lowest energy state, thus quanta can't produce any kinetic energy. You forget to realise you have already said quanta is in perpetual movement and equal uncertainty, thus has movement through the Heidelberg principle. You forget to realise that you've already said quanta is in perpetual movement and equal, but you went further to say mass moving is kinetic energy. So you've contradicted yourself many times already, and I'm only at 4 minutes 56 seconds in your 7-minute video. At this point I'm in hysterics, mate. The first time I watched it I was in hysterics, right? Especially as when you are reading the statement, you ought to see your eyes. You can see in your eyes that you're unsure on what you're saying. There's a look of confusion and a cringe on your face. I suspect you are reading from a journal entry of early work from a very clever scientist. To calm his fellow scientific friends down, and so he doesn't get imprisoned for saying perpetual motion, this scientist is clearly encrypting his data. Right? As in the scientific community, if you say you're if you're saying you're working on such items, you get ridiculed, you get sacked or locked up. Like people like Galileo and Bob Lazar, just a modern one, and many, many more. Then you go on to state that it may be possible to get useful energy from the lowest energy quanta, but there is no real reason to do such a thing. So it must be impossible. So you say there's no real reason to do this thing, so it must be impossible. I guess you're reading from the same journal. As clever scientists write things down in stupid manners so people don't quite understand it. Then you explain your theory by saying it is not possible to get energy because there is no energy state less than quantum minimum. You go further and state there is no need to use the quanta field as we already use magnetic fields to get energy, so what's the point in using the quanta fields? It's a great idea, but no, mate. Then you go on to state scientists are still investigating the possibility of using quanta fields. You are even denying the existence of smaller items and fragments that are required to make all these fields up, including magnetic fields. These items, fragments, are what I am working on right now. I thought I'd better just add that for you. Then you go on to talk about breaking down the 0-point field to access the energies, and that it may be possible in the future. I know it's possible, mate, because I've done it. More contradictions from your side. I'm still saying the same thing. You agreeing with me then disagreeing, we're agreeing then disagreeing. I'm just staying focused, right? A common saying in science is, where you see contradiction, you know there is more to it than what you see, or it's similar to that anyway. Then you carry on and say, if someone finds this, they will be paid / worth millions, even trillions, adding that it will transform all power, transport and everything on Earth as we know it. I'm telling you, mate, of course it does. I've seen it, I've got it working. It transforms everything, and I just can't shut up about it now I've seen it. Then you come around and tell me it's impossible. Then you read some more gumph to me. It's like, go away. Then you go on and state you think all humans will be extinct before we reach that level of technology. The fact is that if the oil barons have it their way, we will sit on Earth until we rot, like you say, extinction. Just like you say. if as futurists and deep thinkers have it our way, we will terraform Mars, Pluto, all the planets in our solar system, and we will go on in peace to annex other solar systems just to make sure that we continue our race. P.S. Postscriptum. In the horseshoe diagram picture, you use colorblind colours to further confuse people. Now use correct colours that all people can read, right? Because if kids are reading pictures and they can't see the colours correctly, you are lying to them. So use the correct denomination picture colours so everybody can see the diagram. Get it right.